All right, so we are back. Welcome everybody. Jose J. Garcia, real estate investor, coach, and mentor with Ron. So if you're watching our previous videos, we've got up to 5 videos now demonstrating, showing you the inside of mobile homes, the outside, and why you should invest. But Ron, you mentioned investors. You also work with them and do business with them. So that's what I want to cover on this video, is working with investors as well. And what are some of those investors you deal with? Is it park owners only, or?
You know, at this point, the majority of investors we deal with are buying private property or asking us to help locate that private property. And most of them will do sectionals. When you get into areas of rental, a lot of the single wides come into play. A lot of 14 wides and a lot of the true line, the more affordable line. We can actually do everything for the investor if need be, from delivery and set, and if we need to do the connections, the water, the sewer, run lines, whatever we need to do. We price everything in, most everything in the deal when we price it to them, including sales tax, so they have a real number of what they're working with. We've got financing for those people from 3 and 4 different options of lenders that can help them. There are people that finance every day for lender or for investors like yourselves that need that financing, because they know most of the investors aren't going to buy one home. They're going to buy 2, 5, 10, maybe even 20 at times.
And absolutely, and I definitely want to cover a lot of those steps on there. So one of the things is you're not just a seller. You don't just sell and take off with your mobile home like we mentioned and off to the races you go. I mean, you're really a one-stop shop to everything, right? You
Absolutely.
cover everything. So what is one of the biggest things you do to help them outside of selling them just a mobile home?
We're involved in locating land when we need to be. We're involved in locating parks for them if they need places to put for certain rental properties for investors in specific areas. We can come in, we'll help them lay out their land, lay out the house site, complete everything, work with them on their improvements such as septic, water, and making sure that everybody's on the same page. And as they get their permit, we stay very glued in and communicating with each and everybody involved in the inspection process with them to make sure the home is being finished in a timely manner.
So you say you help them locate land. I mean, how often, I know that's a very broad question, but typically how long does it take for you to find a piece of land?
You know, usually just a couple, 3 weeks is a rule. We found a lot of it in a week to 10 days. We've got some land agents we work with. We call them and say, hey, we need a lot or an acre or 2 in this area. And then we take off from that point with communication between the buyer, the investor, and the land agent. And they'll meet, bring everything together, and then once they complete that, we put the whole purchase together with the land with them if they need us to, with the house, and complete the project.
Interesting. I mean, that's quick process. So.
Absolutely.
Now, also, we mentioned in the previous video about delivering the home. The actual, from the time of buy, how soon can I expect it to be delivered my land? Is it the same for investors, typical time frame?
Yes, sir. It's pretty much the same frame time. You've got your order date. If we don't have it on the sales center, once the home arrives, usually within 30 to 40 day period is usually max on most any home we have. In any of the manufacturers. And then we've got a 30 to a 60 day completion, depending on the extent of what we have to do. If there's septic tanks that have to be installed, if there's wells that have to be installed, and so forth. And of course, we do brick. Brick takes a little extra time, and when you're doing finished sheetrock on a higher end home, that takes an extra 10 to 12 days, depending on what time of year, if it's winter or is it summer.
You mentioned Clayton, True Homes, and Rockwell. What were some of the other ones you mentioned, and what would make for a better investment for any investor?
You know, the True Line's pretty hard to beat for an investor. Try to keep the price down. The Appalachia home builds a very good looking home. It's board and batten, not finished sheetrock, but they build a great looking home. A lot of farmhouse styles. Then we pick up into the Rockwell line. Rockwell does a lot of finished full sheetrock, which is a great looking product. And then we've got Clayton Schultz Richfield, along with
we are pet friendly.
We are pet friendly here. We are at that. Busy done showed up. And then we have the Norris home, which is getting into the higher end. We see a lot of 5 and 6, 12 pitch roof homes, 9-foot ceilings, full sheetrock, very elaborate homes, but very, very well made. Now you're moving into your site built market.
Absolutely. No, I love the pitch roofs, by the way. This, again, you know, just the ceiling size, but do you currently work with a lot of investors at this time?
We do. We work, probably 10% of our business is actually investors. And a lot of that is going to be in the Clayton True line, singles and doubles, and then some of the Appalachia product. It's hard to get into the higher end market. We actually have an investor buying a mod that's going to go on a lake lot that he's going to sell. kind of getting into that a little more each and every day.
Now, you mentioned financing for investors as well. So what are some of the financing they do have options for?
You know, you've got options for buying multiple properties that not the bank, your local bank really doesn't want to get involved in. If you're going into a manufactured home park, you know, we've got lenders that can provide financing for multiple purchases, 10, 20 at a time if need to be.
Okay. Now, let's say I'm a large investor, and I come in here, Ron, I need 30 more homes. Can you really? So what would be I guess I'm going to say the maximum somebody could buy, but is there not a limitation to?
We want to dial it in. If it's all going to be sectional homes, we want to dial that in to possibly 5 to 7 a month to start with. And then kind of go from there. We need to have time to set them up, work around our normal retail buying customers as well, but we need to have time to do the whole process. And 5 to 7 is normally going to be that number if we're going to finish that product completely.
I'm curious. So with so many availability, and I know a lot of people don't know, and that's always the thing is people won't buy or don't get into what they don't know. But with so many options, so much availability, why do you think there's not more investors getting into mobile home investing?
I think they're learning. People like yourself is teaching the industry and the people that want to get into real affordable type homes and investment homes. It takes people like yourself doing schooling and educating these people so they understand that it's not all about a site-built home. There's so much more consistent money to be made in manufactured housing than people have ever really realized, versus buying a fixer-upper and taking forever to get it ready. So you can take a manufactured home in 90 to 120 days, and even less in a lot of cases, and be ready to go for that customer to buy and move in. That's hard to do, buying a site-built home and doing a flip on it. Those are usually 6 months at minimum to do, and then you've got every contractor in the world coming in. We've got a few contractors that have done it for years, and we zip through it pretty clean.
You just struck an idea on there. So he said, obviously, they're educating and they're getting people. You know, I said everywhere you go, you should be coaching. As a mobile home investor, that's what we do. I got an idea, and I'm hoping he says yes. So, Ron, what do you think about me hosting a small event, maybe a small group of people, serious investors, bringing them out here and getting them to tour some of these homes, maybe get some more information from you?
Absolutely. Be well accepted. We'd love to be involved. We'll help you get set up in any manner we can. I think it's a great opportunity to show investors really what's available and their timeline of working in, their financing is available for them where they don't understand it. And good job for you doing what you do every day to educate people, because it's a big deal. A lot of people just don't know, and if people like yourself aren't taking that time, it just doesn't get done.
You don't know what you don't know, but you could be missing out. So definitely, that's something I'm going to put together. So for those of you that join us a little later or after, where can they find us? How can they get to this location? What is the address?
The address is 803 White Pine Road, Toccoa, Georgia.
And that website?
My website is georgiahomegallery.com. It'll give you a ton of information from financing to product that we have on the sales center, product we can purchase, and some different information. And of course, the numbers are there to call us at any time. We're here available for you. We want your business.
There you have it. So definitely reach out to Ron and get your investment ready, get it in line, and stay tuned for the date of when we're going to have that event. Can't wait to see you then. Thank you for watching.